This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Take advantage of today's daily deal over at Ease by saving 20% off select Caliva products on all orders over $50. You just need to get your order in today and use the discount code Caliva, which is spelled C-A-L-I-V-A. That'll knock a fifth of the price off your order, which will land at your door in less than an hour. Assuming, of course, that you live in a part of California where Ease is active and that it's during legal hours for delivery. Since Ease is super strict about following all of California's various rules and regulations for legal marijuana, you know you're always going to get exactly what you pay for. Properly tested, packaged, and labeled cannabis products. If that's important to you, then you're going to love being a customer over at ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Thursday, September 20th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 574 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story this fine Thursday starts us off in North Dakota, as it so often doesn't. Yesterday, the Marijuana Policy Project announced that it was endorsing Measure 3, an adult use legalization ballot measure seeking placement on November's ballot. Measure 3 is being pushed by the organization Legalize ND and would remove marijuana from being defined as a Schedule I drug under state law. In addition, it would set up a process by which people with cannabis charges would have their crimes expunged from their records automatically. It would not set up a taxed and regulated sales system, but then again, this is North Dakota we're talking about, not exactly a bastion of progressive activism. Green Market Report is a good piece up, diving into a new report just released by ArcView Research and BDS Analytics looking at the legal marijuana concentrates market. A quick bit of disclosure on this one. ArcView is a past sponsor, and we're all good friends with ArcView CEO Troy Dayton, who is an infrequent regular on our weekly show Marijuana Today. Also, Chris Lotlicker, host of Marijuana Today, also did some consulting for ArcView and actually started and then sold to ArcView what would later become their research division. Anyway, ArcView and BDS Analytics' new concentrates report looks at the fast-growing market for cannabis extracts, which they say will very nearly pass marijuana flower in terms of sales by 2022, when concentrates projected $8.4 billion in sales would be neck and neck with flower's anticipated haul of $8.5 billion. This is a rather significant and dynamic part of our market, so I'd make sure to give this one a read. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Mr. Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moments, another one of our infrequent regulars on our weekly show Marijuana Today, picked up our third top headline today with a story detailing the role cannabis played in two different state gubernatorial debates held last night, as candidates in Ohio and New Mexico lined up to hash out their differences on the important issues of the day. Tom's story, as they usually are, is worth opening up in full and diving into. But in short, in Ohio, cannabis provided a stark split in opinion between Republican Mike DeWine, who thinks Colorado has fallen into a stony pit of despair, despite the fact that nearly every economic indicator in the state shows huge growth, and his challenger, Democrat Richard Cordray, who is much more reasonable on the issue and wanting to see a voter initiative pass before the state moves to legalize adult use. In New Mexico, the partisan divide on marijuana was pretty much the same, with Republican Steve Pearce taking the tired old stance of marijuana being bad. Okay? While Democrat Michelle Lujan Grisham reiterated her support for ending cannabis prohibition. Once again, pop over to Marijuana Moment for the full read on this one. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Besides valuing the fact that Ease products are all properly tested, packaged, and labeled, Ease customers love the wide variety of product types, brands, and price points available up for offer over at ease.com. You can get flower and concentrates, edibles, topicals, tinctures, vape pens, and pre-rolls. You'll find products from the Dosist, Packs, and Kiva confections. And you can choose from $15 eighths of Old Pal flower or $49 top shelf picks by THC Design. Whatever your consumption choice, whatever your brand, whatever your price point, Ease has you covered. Swing over to ease.com and discover just how easy legal California marijuana delivery can be. That's ease.com, spelled EAZE. And don't forget, you can fire up ease.com/home to read all the valuable bits of industry insight and analysis the Ease team has developed using their properly aggregated and anonymized sales data stream and smart polling. All right, time for the Blitz. Canadian marijuana company Captor just wrapped up a $6 million acquisition of a medical and adult use dispensary located in Santa Cruz, California. With the closing of the deal, Captor adds Chai Cannabis to its American dispensary portfolio, which includes 3 other Golden State shops. The deal was a mix of $4.4 million in cash, with the rest made up in Captor stock and a promissory note. Captor trades publicly on the Canadian Securities Exchange using the stock ticker symbol CPTR. In Las Vegas, a marijuana-themed museum opens up today that features a 24-foot-tall working glass bong, which we've talked about here on the show in the last few weeks. The new Cannabis Museum opens today and is designed to be social media friendly, with each exhibit lit to maximize the quality of guests taking selfies. Besides the ginormous glass bong, the museum also features displays about cannabis seeds and cultivation, and even has one of Hunter S. Thompson's old cars. The Toronto Star is reporting that Canada's Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis Commission has released wholesale pricing for the commercial marijuana set to be sold by retailers once the nation clicks over to legalized adult use next month. Canada left most of the details for how adult use will be implemented up to each of its individual provinces, and Alberta decided to force all retailers to purchase their wholesale cannabis through its Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis Commission. The Star's story looks at the slim margins retailers can expect based on the wholesale prices released, which average around $8.90 per gram Canadian. So go over to this one for the rest of the numbers and details. William Sumner over at the Green Market Report wrote a good post on the conference that same website threw this past weekend in New York City, focusing on the economics of cannabis banking. Another bit of disclosure is needed on this one, as my buddy Louis Goldberg, one of the hosts of the Green Rush podcast, which we now produce, was one of the speakers at the event. One of the unique features of the Green Market Report, at least in our industry, is the fact that they released a report on the finances of cannabis banking to go along with the event. Click over for the read and the pass-through to that report itself. In August, the state of Ohio clarified its rules on CBD products and stipulated that only state-licensed medical marijuana shops could sell any CBD products. The Athens News is reporting that there are a number of non-licensed shops across the state, though, that are continuing to sell CBD-infused goods and whose owners say they have no intention of stopping. Just another CBD-muddled space and maybe a story worth jumping into in full, especially if you have any involvement in the Ohio market. Police departments across the state of Michigan are spreading disinformation by sharing and posting nonsensical cannabis legalization stats and reports from the Rocky Mountain High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Task Force, which is about as non-biased on marijuana issues as Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Michigan voters will be going to the polls in November to decide on legalizing adult use marijuana, and with polls showing support for the idea being north of 60% of the electorate, desperate cops have taken to sharing the insanely cherry-picked and non-valid propaganda oozed out by the Rocky Mountain High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Task Force. There's one really awesome note on this one published by Click on Detroit, in that the author of the piece points out that the task force is not a neutral player in the debate on cannabis policy. Open up to see the disclosure for yourself. That needs to happen everywhere. Finally for today, Toronto-based company Ballot has announced that they're looking to hire 5 quote-unquote cannabis connoisseurs who will be paid up to $1,000 a month and given a $200 monthly expense account to sample and report back on various strains of marijuana. Whoever ends up being picked for the 5 dream jobs will be expected to also help select which strains go into the company's monthly sample pack. If you live in Toronto and think you have what it takes, click over to Alaska Highway News to learn more. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. What do you get when you combine a rhetorical question and a joke? Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning and starting your day with marijuana today. Today.
One take, Shay. One take.